Hello, guys. Welcome back to the Nets. We are group of cricket buffs who like stream regular videos about current affairs in cricket. So, with me today is Shashank sir from Hyderabad and Agam from Canada. Hi, Agam. Hi, Shashank sir.
Hi Agam, first time on our stream.
Agam,
First time, right?
you are muted, Agam.
I am muted, huh?
No, Agam is muted.
Okay, okay.
I'm
Uh,
audible right now? Hello?
yes,
Yeah,
sir.
yeah, you are.
Yes,
Yeah. Hello, guys. How are you? Hi,
We are good.
Shaki, Shashank bhai. Hello, Nandan bhai. How are you guys?
we are good,
Yeah, we are
Agam.
good.
So, yeah.
I think
We are going to
both the
discuss about
matches.
the fourth test, like, right, today?
Before that, I think we should talk about the two T20s which are going simultaneously. One was women's,
The women's
where
IPL, yeah.
RCB again like lost another match, and in the other match, I don't know what was going on, book cricket or stick cricket. The Quetta managed to chase 240 in 18 overs with 10 balls to spare. So, Shankar bhai, did you watch the match? Either of them?
No, man, as in, it's really difficult. As in, I don't have anything against WPL. WPL, I try to put some time on weekends, but weekdays it's difficult. PSL, I don't watch. PSL, it's really difficult. It's too much of cricket. So, yeah.
What about
Yeah.
you, Adam? Have you watched any WPL
So,
games? So,
I actually, no, I haven't watched a WPL game, but I watched the highlights of the first game. But if you talk about today's game, I actually saw the scorecard and I saw that the old lady, I don't remember the exact name, Harleen Deol, I don't remember exactly.
Harleen Deol.
The
Harleen
women's
Deol.
IPL team. Yeah, yeah. So she scored 70 or something, 68 runs of something balls. So she scored really well. The scorecard was actually 202 or 203. And on the other side, I saw the PSL game. Actually, you can say like the game was actually played on the highway, like people in cricketing terms says. So yeah, like 240 runs are not a lowest total, like a small total, but chasing that in 18 overs is actually a great thing. Like Jason Roy scored for 145 runs, I guess, about in 63 or 64 balls. So it's a big achievement. Whether it is a highway pitch or like it's a normal pitch, it's a big achievement. The 145 runs.
what about you, Shashank bhai? Like the scores in PSL, they are like producing 200 every game. So, what do you think?
It's fine as Agam mentioned, yeah, means 240 whatever said and done. Even we saw a match in England, India West Indies that where KL Rahul scored a century,
Yeah,
245.
we
So
should have
that
won that.
was
Yeah.
also a flat track in Florida, but still means scoring at that kind of pace is like commendable effort. But yes, if you were to means if you I don't know Pakistan all the other I haven't watched PSL so I can't comment, but I've seen some of the scorecards and more or less
Hmm.
almost half of the matches are like going as in 190 plus is the norm in most of the matches is what I can see. But this is like
But
really
yeah, but don't you guys think like sometimes it's feel boring while watching a game again and again of scoring 190, 200 plus? Not talking about only PSL, but okay, like WPL is okay because we haven't watched women team playing like this good. This actually it's good. They are scoring 200 plus. But if you talk about PSL scoring 220 easily, 230 easily, and chasing that, so sometimes it actually feel boring while watching that game. So they are actually trying to copy IPL somewhere, but they are actually going too far. So I feel sometimes it's boring. You need to have a moderate pitch in which you can defend 170, 182. So I feel that.
totally agree. As in, it has to there has to be a balance. Otherwise, bowler is totally out of the equation, and it's like batsman. It's like it's like uh, just bowlers are mere spectators, where batsmen have come to just boost their averages and egos. So, which is actually not good for cricket. It's more or less detrimental. But one of it is fine, I guess, and women's cricket, as in, I haven't seen actually 200s being scored at that ease. As in this WPL, I think out of 6-7 matches, almost 4-5 matches had 200s in one each of the
Yeah. So
innings.
yeah. Yeah, even like we of course we as a fan of we as a audience love to watch like the team scoring 200 plus because we love to see runs scoring and we love to see batsmen hitting score. But the thing is sometimes people also want to see bowler playing really well. So if we talk about today's match, 240 runs chased easily, 18.2 overs. None of the bowlers actually performed really well. So that actually seems really like as a cricketing total cricketing fan, you actually feel like bad for cricketing terms because you don't want to watch every T20 game being that in the favor of batsmen and all that. So that's actually a bad thing, though. It's actually not good for cricketing terms or cricketing world. So yeah, whether it is PSL or IPL or WPL. WPL is actually doing good, but yeah, PSL needs to work on that.
I have
Okay,
watched
so
three games of RCB and couple of games. Like for the first game I watched, and the ending of that UP games, which UP versus Gujrat game, which was thrilling. Uh, for me, the batting has I have been surprised by the level of batting. Like 200, even I have never seen 200 scored so consistently in women cricket. But the fielding level and the bowling level has been let down so far. They are the batsman is easily finding it easy to pierce the fielders and get boundaries in the power play. Like there is no much effort by the fielders. That is what I think. Maybe that quality will improve going forward. Uh, Coming back to the Border Gavaskar Trophy, tomorrow the fourth test starts in Ahmedabad, and there are reports that Ishan Kishan may make it into the 11. He may debut tomorrow. What are your opinion on that?
Agam.
I think it's good. Like what position he will play? If he'll play in the playing 11, will he play as a opener or will he
Bharat.
play as a number 7?
No, no, Bharat, number 6 or
Oh,
7.
you're talking about Bharat. Okay, number
Yeah,
7.
yeah.
Okay. So number 7, it's good actually. If you talk about there were many wicketkeeper batsmen who played as number 7. Adam Wilkes is one of the example who played Test cricket as number 7, and Ishan Kishan is that type of player who can play at that position and give some runs. For example, if the position like if the last day they want some like around 100 runs in 5 or 10 overs, he can give you that. Not 5 overs actually, or 8 or 10 overs. He can give you that furious innings. Or for example, if you are running late on the third or fourth day and you think the score is this, he can make you runs. He can make you like 80 or 90 runs in like 60, 70 balls. So that he's that kind of player. You can give him a chance. If you can give Surya Kumar Yadav a test squad chance, you can give Ishan Kishan also a good chance. Because back in December, back in January, he was in a quite great form. So he also scored double hundred. So I think he deserves a chance. I think he deserves a chance. So let's see what happens. But on the other side, I think we have to work upon our batting also. Pujara scored a 50 in the previous match, but again, like Pujara, Virat Kohli, and other opening batsmen also. I think they need to work on their batting, whether it is a bowling pitch or batting pitch. They also scored 190, 200. They also suffered, Australians, but I think they managed to win. So we have to do that also.
Sachin, by your opinion on Ishan Kishan?
Well, I think I was reading Rahul Dravid's column in Cricinfo, and he was mentioning that Bharat kind of did well in whatever opportunities he has been given, as in because these pitches we have seen as in really difficult to score, and we can't actually judge a person based on these kind of pitches where they are more or less ball is turning square right from day one. So but and in wicket keeping, I think he hardly had any. He was slow to start off in the first test, but as the game progressed, I think he did really well. Where he hardly missed any chance. So according to me, he should not be the one to be axed because there was hardly any blemish from his side because batting he's into his first series, so we need to cut some slack. But if at all we are talking about getting in Ishan Kishan on spinning tracks, I don't think so. He had doesn't. Uh, it will be really difficult to actually imagine Kishan in a. I think he played recently on a spinning track. Where exactly I don't remember. He was a walking wicket, as in. So his pedigree on spinning tracks is not much to talk about, and his kind of gameplay, wham bam, it might or might not work because Pant's game has a method to madness. As in Pant, whatever said and done, his kind of game suits this kind of pitches or test match cricket, especially where field is up for most of the time, and he can play his hikes over the infield, and as in lofted shots over infield. That kind of batting works for Pant, but Kishan, I'm not sure, because Kishan has his first class record also is not that great to speak about. So I think first thing, but it would be unfair to actually drop KS Bharat after three tests, and that too on all of them are on spinning tracks. So yeah, I think, but of late, as you said, as you mentioned in the group, this has been a case where if we get to hear a rumor, it is more or less getting turned into
Huh.
reality. As
Yeah,
in,
yeah.
tomorrow we'll get to see Kishan turning up for the team. So that has been the norm. I don't know where these the which sources are this credible that they're getting 100% success rate, where every news they are getting is right. So yeah, it would be unfair to drop Bharat. But I think there's one more option where, if you look at the team composition, those two pacers, one is mostly getting redundant, becoming redundant. So there is always an option to play an extra batter, and one plus three, one pacer plus three spinners. Four spinners is not going to happen, I think.
Hmm.
But one plus three plus an extra batter is kind of a possibility because of our fragile top and middle order.
But who
How
will be
about
the
you?
extra batsman if you are going back to KL Rahul? Then
KL
I
Rahul
think
or Surya Kumar Yadav?
we
Those
should
are the
at least,
options.
yeah, at least ensure a extra batting option. If you are carrying four spinners for a tour, I don't know, for a home tour, it would have been better if you had carried another middle order batsman like Sarfaraz.
Agree. That should have been the case, but given our options,
Uh,
these are the two bits.
yeah, Sashank, you told about batting wise Shrikar Bharat, but keeping wise, Shrikar Bharat for me is as important as any top order batsman because the
Yep,
catch he took off Smith in the first innings of Delhi Test, I think, no? Delhi Test, and
Delhi,
the one he took of head in the second innings. So those two are
Delhi.
like equal to 50 runs scored on that pitch. So
Totally agree.
his keeping is as important. Yeah. So
So
in
that is
such
the
kind of pitches, so it will be a
that
very
is the
big risk
reason,
if they
right?
are taking. This one.
Yeah, that is the risk, right? That is what I was talking about. On these kind of surfaces, you need to have a proper wicket keeper. And if you look at KS Bharat, he looks better than Rishabh Pant to me behind the wickets. As in,
Yeah, 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 much better. I think is equivalent to Saha. How Saha was like
Saha, who was rated as our
in
best
keeping wise.
keeper,
Uh,
till he got phased out because of his age or whatever reason, he was definitely called our best keeper, right? As in whatever reasons they gave.
yes, yes. Yeah.
So I think.
What do you think about the pitch? Like, what do you expect? They're telling there are people. They're preparing two different kinds of pitches. One has a tinge of green, and another one is a total turner, and they will select on that morning, tomorrow morning, which one to go for.
To be honest, we should not be talking about the pitches. I think this has been a norm of late, where any team travels to India, they talk about pitches, and like first pitch, first day pitch, first test pitch. We do remember what was the first, what all first happened, where selective watering happened, and it was actually detrimental to the left-handers or whatever was written,
And
and
left-hander got most runs for India.
yeah,
Jadeja and Akshar got most runs.
accelerated. So I think it's true. I think whatever surface is, there is an equal probability, to be honest, where both teams can win, because Australia, with Green coming back in, they found their balance, because
Hmm.
Green is more of a bat rather than a ball, and Australia were anyways going with one plus three, where Renisha was playing that role. So I think with Green coming into picture, balance, they got a good balance to their side, and so because now with this pitch, if you remember, Ahmedabad first there were two test matches played when England came to India, and the first test match, it was green, if you remember the
Yeah,
pitch.
yeah.
It
Yeah.
looked green, and
Mm,
England loaded with all Jofra Archer, and but
mm,
India went with three spinners. And
mm.
you know the result. What happened? Joe Root
Yes,
got a
yes.
six for, I think, or a five
Uh,
for, whatever. We won the match. But second test, it was more of a normal kind of a wicket. Still spinning, but again, I think Pant scored 100. I don't remember exactly what happened in that match, but at least runs were scored on in that match, and we won it comfortably. So at the end of the day, I think pitch will whatever may be the pitch, it is going to spin. So the philosophy of our team management is clearly visible, where they're coming into press conferences, where I did not expect actually, where your captain is like saying we will go with our strength of playing on a turning pitch right from day one. To be honest, I think it's not our strength.
mm.
It became our
True,
strength
true,
because
true.
of our it is more or less acting as a strength because of our depth in lower order batting, which comes with Ashwin, Aksar, and Jaddu. Otherwise, those kind of turning tracks are never our strength. Like Pune
Yeah, that was
27.
you can say that was a strength when Pant was there. Now it has like become our main weakness.
Even with Pant, Nandan, if you were to see, uh, I think that balance, if you remove Akshar Patel from the balance, still it's tilting towards our lower mid order, plus Pant was what shielding us from those kind of pitches,
Yes,
to
yes,
be
yes,
honest.
true.
Now,
Yeah.
without Pant, those extra 40-50 quick runs are missing in this whole scheme of things, because Bharat is not giving you those runs. So that 40-50 runs, and with our top order and middle order not contributing anything at all, Pujara did play a very good innings in the second innings. But honestly, if you were to ask me, Pujara always plays you an innings where he will save a test match for you. Save a test match in terms of he'll draw a test match on his own. There
Hmm.
has to be an aggressor who is playing along with him. Like in
Yeah.
Gaba, there was Pant who was playing along with him. So
Yes,
because
yes.
the match doesn't progress, like he just delayed the inevitable in the third test. That's it, according to me.
Yeah.
Uh,
True.
Means you need an higher kind of an innings. Higher, if he had stayed for 5-6 overs more or 10 overs more,
We would have got
scenario would
another
have
50. Yeah, another 50, and we would have
scenario would have been totally
challenged.
different.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying that Pujara should not play Pujara. He obviously has to play his own game, and we need to get runs from the other end. But what I'm saying is that Pujara can only take you till there. So that is the main difference with Pujara we have. And of late, he hasn't been clicking much also. If you were to see last 3 years, our middle order 3 and 4, we always talk about KLR, but our
Yeah, yeah,
3 and 4
yeah.
haven't performed
Y-
much.
I think I am the only one who has been branded Kohli fan, and yet I am the most like
Neutral.
the biggest critic of him in Test cricket.
Yeah, I agree.
Uh,
Agree. You need to call a spade, because
yes, yes,
just because of our fanism and all, it doesn't make any sense, because at
true.
the end of the day, everything is there on paper for us to see. So I think Kohli, with his pedigree, he might still get some time till WTC. But after WTC, if there is no improvement, I don't see him playing in the next cycle if the form continues like that. Uh, Again, we haven't yet qualified for WTC, too premature to talk about it, because you never know. Funny things happen in cricket. We can lose this test, and Sri Lanka might, at the end of the day, win those two tests. Means there is very minute and outside chance, but still possible, right? Possibility is there where they can scrape through in. So if at all India qualifies, I think that will be a very these two tests are going to be very much deciding factor for Virat Kohli's test future, whatever said and done. Because
True.
at the end of the day, you are not going back to domestic and picking people from there. There means, because of Pujara, Rahane, and Kohli, lot of middle order bats
True, true,
never got a chance to
true.
play in Indian level for a long time.
Yeah, true. Can you name one batsman who has played? He was not like done spectacularly well in IPL, and he has played Test cricket through Ranji cricket. Like he has come up through Ranji cricket in the last 5 years. I can name only one, Hanuma Vihari. Apart from them, I don't know which was the last Indian batsman who came up the ranks through Ranji Trophy into the Test 11. Can you name one?
Uh, you can
Sincerely.
talk about KS Bharat, but he's a keeper.
Ah, case but he's a keeper specialist. That too because Pant got injured. Otherwise, he would also not
Agree.
get a chance.
Otherwise, yeah, he would also would not have got that
Yeah,
chance. Yeah,
yeah,
there hardly none. Totally bang on the buck where
yeah. People,
the IPL
people are
performances have
saying
become.
many critic of Indian team. They are saying that there is a dearth of talent. We don't have that quality of batsman. But in Ranji Trophy, if you see the scores, we have many batsmen who have been scoring tons of runs since last 5 years. Priyank Panchal, Abhimanyu Vishwaran, Jaiswal, Sarfaraz Khan, even Sheldon Jackson. His age is 36.
I was actually going to name Sheldon Jackson. If you go and
Yeah,
check his first class record, you can actually
yeah, yeah.
put on display here. He's like his numbers are like way too good to be ignored for this long. As in Priyank Panchal or even Faith Fazal, to be honest, Faith Fazal
Yeah.
was I think he was sent for a Zimbabwe as in
He played one game, ODI game. He got a century on sorry, half century on debut, and then he didn't play in another game for India. What a disaster!
So that it is what
Act-
it is. That's how our selection works. As in, so that is the problem, right, Nandan? When you stick with the same kind of same number
This
of
is
people for
Sheldon Jackson's statistics. He may be 36, but since we don't know when Mr. Pant will be back playing Test cricket, he can be used as a stopgap keeper for 2 years or 1.5 years. The
he's a
runs,
keeper, but
he's a keeper.
he's a okay.
He's
Okay,
a
I didn't know that.
wicket keeper, and yes,
Okay,
I don't know
for
why.
KKR for
Huh.
KKR he played, right. He played as a
Yeah, yeah,
wicket
he
keeper.
played. Yeah, yeah, he
Okay,
played.
okay. So that is what as in these people
If you if you,
just they,
if you remember, there was one Australian batsman named Chris Rogers. He
I do
debu-
remember.
he debuted versus India in Perth in 2008. Then he didn't play another game. Then in 2016 Ashes or 2014 Ashes, made a comeback at the age of 38.
Yeah.
Because Australia couldn't find another opener as good as Hayden and Langer, they went for him. If
Yes,
Australia
yes.
can go, why can't we go for someone who has scored for at an average of 50 in first class cricket and he's a wicket keeper? There is no one close to him in domestic cricket.
Agree, but I think I don't think so. He's even in the scheme of the things. As in,
No, he's
if you're
not there. That is what.
he is never in the scheme of the things. Also, as in, for make it into the team, at least selectors should show some indication that they're at least this guy is on our list. Means if he's
Yes.
not getting picked now, maybe the
Even
next series.
even Unadkat was not in the scheme. He somehow came back because of Bumrah's injury, and
Well,
maybe
yeah, even
you never know.
Unadkat first class performance. If you were to see, it's a really good. Doesn't mean.
Extraordinary. It is not good, sir. It's 20. He's averaging 23 with the ball strike rate of 40.
And
I
he's actually a decent bat also, a number eight,
Yeah,
good
it's
number
decent
eight,
bat.
number
Yeah,
nine. That is what, as in our domestic cricket, whatever said and done, we just talk about the very good system and very good first class system. But at the end of the day, we don't play the people like even Mayank Agarwal. To be honest, on
Hmm.
our tracks, on Indian
Hmm.
pitches, he has done no good, no bad. As
No,
in,
no bad, no
the,
bad. True. He's averaging 70 in for Test cricket in at home.
so
Like even Tendulkar didn't average that much.
a point is
Maybe
that
sample size is small, but still.
yeah. Maybe maybe we are jumping the gun by talking directly about the stats. But honestly, if we were to see, he was injured, Mayank Agarwal. And once
Yeah,
after that
true,
injury,
true.
he was not
He
picked again.
not picked again. Yeah, true. He was set to play that last game, which KL
Yes,
Rahul came and scored 100.
that's it. KL Rahul cemented his place, and
Uh,
this guy is out of contention totally.
yeah,
No, what I'm saying is that for home test matches, I don't think so. There is any other. Shubman Gill is hardly a proven entity in Test cricket, Test match cricket, especially
yeah,
home conditions. ठीक है,
true.
limited overs, especially ODIs, no doubt, and with current form in ODIs, he could convert that into T20 form as well. But pecking order, I'm talking about. It's not
True,
about
true.
anything else. He
I
should be
agree.
given chances. I'm not saying denying the fact that he should not be given chances, but he will come at a later stage when you compare to Mayank Agarwal, at least in terms of performances or in terms of domestic records. If you were to see, Mayank Agarwal is way ahead of Shubman Gill. But that is what happens. We go in with the recency effect and we don't even select Mayank Agarwal in the team. So where do we stand there? As in, he's not play as he's injured, he's out, and you totally forget. The selectors totally have a very small memory, and they forget about Mayank Agarwal totally. See, overseas test, I do agree. Overseas test, he hasn't performed, and his technique in moving conditions when ball moves around in England, or
Hmm.
even when ball like in Australian conditions where the ball is it's coming on to you much faster and the bounce is true. He was found wanting. I do agree, but Indian conditions, I don't think so. You'll find a much better option. In fact, I think he actually surpassed Rohit also in some of the innings where Rohit did a very good job as an opener. I do agree in Indian conditions, but some of the innings where Mayank and Rohit opened together, Mayank surpassed Rohit, as
Yes,
in
yes.
terms of both. He had two double hundreds, right? He had two double hundreds, Mayank Agarwal.
No, one I think against
One.
New Zealand. Was
Okay.
it New Zealand or South Africa?
South Africa, Rohit had two double hundreds. That I
Uh,
remember. But
uh,
yeah, it is
there
what
is
it
this
is.
convention, batsman can play all three formats, and like, sorry, a batsman uh, has to play home and away both tests. Bowlers, they are like disposable. They can be changed anywhere, anyhow. Like if Ashwin has to play a away series, he will be dropped. He will be dropped from the 11. Why not
Yes,
apply the same logic and play Mayank Agarwal in home series? Drop him in the away series for someone else. But this is
totally
the
agree. But
convention in
that
cricket.
yeah, that doesn't apply, I guess, to
Hmm,
batsmen.
yeah,
I
true.
think. See, if you were
I
to
want to talk about the pitches also. You told we should not debate about pitches, but I am of the opinion that rank turner and all is fine. Home advantage and everything is fine, but a ball pitching dust popping up on the day one and also keeping
eh,
low on the day one. I don't think this is good for Test cricket.
I am totally against it. As in, I said we let us not discuss about pitches because it is out of our scope. That is my reason for mentioning that
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
when you
But
get pitch into
for
pitch.
future of Test cricket, I'm very concerned. At least in India, uh, matches has
Yeah,
to go till 5 days.
no,
I don't see another.
that is
I
like
don't
too.
see when is the next double century coming in India. In such of century may come here and there. Rohit
So
scored one in Nagpur, but I don't see another double century coming in India.
that is what, right? As in, I was reading Rahul's interview or whatever he has written down. So what he's saying is that with WTC points coming into picture, all the pitches across the world are
Ah,
like have become more or less. They want to make a result-oriented wicket now.
true, true.
And if you were to see in this cycle itself, we were denied a win against New Zealand in last. There were 8 overs remaining, and Rachin Ravindra and Ejaz Patel
Yeah,
saved a match
correct,
for them.
correct, correct.
And we lost around 8 points. For a win, you get 12 points, and for a draw, you get 4 points. So
True, true.
if at all we had won there, we might have already qualified with the kind of score we have for WTC final. 8 points is a huge difference, and we would have scraped through above Sri Lanka even if they're winning 2-0 over there. By drawing this test also, we were winning it, or even by losing also, most probably.
True, true,
So,
true.
Funda is that. Uh, so point is that now they are making result oriented wickets is what they want to make. I do agree with that. But thing is that match getting over in 2.5 days doesn't make any sense to me. As in, for
Yeah,
points you're playing, as in you're just denying people who are like biggest fans of this game or even test match cricket a good experience where you're just it's kind of a lottery, right? As in where
true, true,
ball is
true.
turning square right from day one, dust is like bouncing off the pitch. And I don't agree with this fact that people start arguing and comparing with overseas pitches where that ball is seaming right from day one. So we will make dust bowls. So how does it make a right argument? I don't understand. Uh, Too much of anything is bad. Too much of grass is bad. Too much of dust is bad.
Also,
That
I
is what
want to
it.
add one more point here. Our team has been so good uh, in away series. Like we draw the series in England, we won in Australia. Means like our team is good enough to compete in foreign conditions. So why are you not putting trust in the same team, giving a sporting wicket, and telling them go and win a test match for India at home? It is your home. It is your conditions. It is alien to Australians. You have gone there and you have defeated them there. Why can't they defeat like Australia in a sporting wicket in India?
No, that is what Nandan point is that they tried doing the same against England first match,
England, yeah, true, true, true.
and those kind of matches toss becomes a very key factor some of the times, not every time.
True.
Like in 2016-17 we won 4 test matches, even after 2 test matches out of it we lost the tosses also, and we played second and like we did win the matches. But thing is that doesn't happen always. So thing is that our what these people their philosophy is that our strength is like playing on turning wickets, and we are better equipped, we have better bowlers, and we have better batsmen to tackle it. But my funda is that we do have better bowlers to tackle those conditions. But thing is that once in those kind of like when ball is turning right from a square right from day one, even their spinners will come into picture, right? Like
Yeah,
till now
true.
touring teams except for England 2012-13, none of the teams had two spinners bowling decently at tandem.
Yeah,
Like last time also Australia toured. Steve O'Keefe got wickets, but it was a rank turner. Otherwise, he totally he didn't play much later on. But now, if you see the even Murphy or for that matter Kuninman, both have been really good, as in with their lines and very tight. So that is a very means when you get this kind of a turner, then our spinners will means the advantage we had of getting a means making ball talk on docile pitches will go away, right? And our batsmen are like, in fact, Kowaja, um, Smith and
Labuschagne.
Labuschagne are in better form, even when means they're all averaging above 50 since last 3 years, and our top order and middle order hasn't. So hi Kayur, how are you doing?
Hi, sir.
Very
We are
good.
talking
I
about
was
pitches,
listening to your conversation,
sir.
and I was wanting to ask you guys this take. Have we forgotten Prithvi Shaw, the opener, because of his off-field fiascos? I mean, he was a big thing before he had that accident with his foot in Australia, and after that, there were some rumors about his off-the-field activities that happened. But yes, we talk about Mayank Agarwal, we talk about KL Rahul as an opener. Rohit is definitely has cemented his spot to a certain extent. But Shubman Gill, what happened with Prithvi Shaw? Any insight on that?
I think Prithvi Shaw, to be honest, I think uh, maybe yes. We you are totally bang on the buck when you said that we are not even discussing him, because That's how it has happened, as in with his off-field demeanor and antics. Somehow we totally lost track of Prithvi Shaw, a test batsman. Means he had a very good first 2-3 tests, right? At least
Yes, yes.
debut test, he had a century, and
And Shashank Bhai, this year he scored a triple century. That is the highest score in last 100 years. 379.
yes, yes, yes. I remember that day we were discussing on the group also.
Yes, yes.
Totally, as in now, okay, we don't even talk about him. So that is how it. That's what has happened. As in, no one, Prithvi Shaw, T20, at least for T20, he's at least people talk about him when it comes to T20 cricket. That yeah, we need to take in Shaw, but Test cricket we totally forgot him. I do agree with Kayur, and I think yes, when he comes ahead of Shubman Gill, when you talk about an opening slot, Shubman Gill is not a natural opener to be honest. He's a one down batsman when he started off, and who was made a makeshift opener because of paucity of places. And number three, Pujara is playing in Test cricket. Number three, Virat is playing in ODI cricket. So he became an opener. He had to become an opener, and now he's excelling in that role in limited overs cricket. He had a good run. He had a good run as in one or two good innings in Australia, but later on nothing to talk about in terms of numbers. But yes, I think Shaw was totally sidelined. I think with because of his on-field antics, off-field antics rather than on-field. Totally, he's not being considered because of that.
So, Shashank bhai, are we saying that this might be a repeat case of Vinod Kambli again? A man who plays his last test match at the age of 24 with immense talent.
विनोद काम्बली's career was, I think, थोड़ा सा उस time पे there was only two formats, and there was no IPL also, so you can
Yeah.
only look at certain only Ranji matches. Otherwise, there was nothing much to talk about also. In fact, Vinod Kambli came back to the side early 2000s, 2001, 2002. He did come back to the ODI side. Yes, Test he never came back, for obvious reasons, where he totally lost his form. As in, I think maybe one of the only cricketers where after hitting two double centuries on trot and getting dropped at an average of 54.xx,
No, no, no.
I think
58.
58.
Yeah,
I thought
and
it,
first class average he has scored 11,000 or 12,000 first class runs, and it is above 60.
okay. It might Kayur, because but it might not also, because with the kind of cricket we are playing in and the kind of importance IPL is being given in even for test match selections, you never know, like he might still, he age is on his side, he's pretty young, and you never know, but it might head in that direction as well. As in, there's nothing to write off about, because test matches at least he's not being considered at this point of time. And with India being that kind of a vast country, where even performers in Ranji Trophy are ignored for that long, before you came in and chipped in, we were discussing about people who never got a look in and who have tons of runs in Ranji Trophy domestic first class cricket, who never got a look in. So he might fade away as well. So there's a very high probability he might fade away in Test cricket. Definitely, T20s he might
So,
get a chance, but
so just
yeah.
so to put more perspective in what's happening overseas, we keep talking about this thing called baseball, 4.5 runs and over, 5 runs and over in test matches. Do you think that might be another something that might go in Prithvi Shaw's case or in his favor? The fact that he can score runs fast. He's not scared to come down the track. He has immense potential. Immense potential. Let's not, forget that. Again, off-field antics keeping him from doing what he's supposed to do. But do you think that that might also be something that the likes of Prithvi Shaw or Yashasvi Jaiswal, people who have a habit of scoring runs quick, might actually get a say going forward?
Nandan bhai.
For that, for that we have like everyone in cricket fraternity should agree that baseball is the only way forward. I don't think so. It is the only way forward in Test cricket, and playing fast in Test cricket is not nothing new. We have had Sehwag. He scored at strike rate of 80 in 2000, in early 2000 and 2010s. So like British may get get his chance because of his if he gets tons of runs in domestic cricket. I don't think India is going for baseball. Test matches can be won with different funda also. Baseball is successful recently. It will also lose some games. It is not like it is something like Bradman's Invincibles in 1930s and 1940s that baseball can't be beaten. It has not been tested completely. That is what I. It is very entertaining, and like it has rejuvenated Test cricket. I will agree, and they have been successful in winning in Pakistan and winning at home. But their test will come when Ashes comes and then when they come to India. Otherwise, or when they travel to South Africa. Um, I don't think personally that baseball is the only way forward. That is why don't agree with Prithvi Shaw being coming in only because he plays fast.
But
What do you say?
Nandan, look at it this way: we have pitches like Pakistan, where the only way of winning was baseball.
Yeah,
England could
true.
have probably won that game. It was a flat dead track, and because they were playing runs at an excruciatingly quick pace, they could probably still hold the fielders in, get wickets from Pakistan, and to a
But
certain extent,
I
flat
agree.
tracks.
I agree. In flat tracks, maybe it is the way forward. But you have to consider that Indian team also has an Ashwin and Jadeja and Akshar Patel. Maybe they would have posed a bigger threat to Pakistani batting lineup in subcontinent conditions. Who knows? I don't think Leach and Will Jacks are equivalent to Ashwin. Ashwin may have turned the game on the day three or day four. Who knows? So that is why I think baseball is not the only way forward. We can develop our own method of winning.
It sounds good. Yeah, makes sense.
See, thing with baseball is that of till now they've more or less they played two tests in New Zealand, but I haven't seen the typical New Zealand conditions where they dish out for Indians, especially
Correct,
where
correct.
total
I
green
agree.
track,
I agree.
ball is seaming here and there because they didn't have the kind of bowlers as well to exploit New Zealand. Bolt is not there. They had only Southey. Henry wasn't
Jamison is
fit
not
for.
there. Jamison,
Jamison is
who
not
troubled
there.
India, was not there.
Henry wasn't fit for first test. Wagner Wagner does a Wagner obviously, but he is not a threatening bowler on any kind of surface. So that's why they dished out a flat track, flat in terms of which suits their kind of a game, baseball, where your all your from Crawley to Duckett to Brook. I'm not saying it's easy to play that way, but what I'm saying is that it doesn't work in conditions where it is assisting bowlers on Indian conditions, or especially like recent memory, there's a track which was dished out for South Africa, second test match, South Africa Australia, where the match got over in 2.5 days, and South Africa were bundled out for less than 200 both the innings, not even 200. I think 139 or something they made. And Travis had a you remember the test match, right? Which happened recently. So we'll get to see that kind of see it definitely has worked for them on their conditions, especially where they are dishing out flat tracks where ball is not doing much, like the recent test which we lost, the fifth test we lost, where they chased down 378 after being 130-40 down in the test first innings, and they chased down 378. To be honest, I think we were flat after our second innings. As in, if you see our bowling, for whatever may be the reason, we just took the pressure onto us, and suddenly once the Root and Bairstow got in and got they were once they started scoring runs, we didn't have a plan B to fall back upon. Maybe it has to do with Virat not being the captain also, honestly, as in, because till the point Virat was there, I don't see us losing a test match where he had 378 hit. At least it's my philosophy, because we won those two. We were in lead 2-1 in 2021 because there were test matches where we came back from behind. Like first test we should have won, but it didn't. But second, the test match where we actually turned as in last two sessions we got the 10 wickets where we just gave them
Yeah,
260 odd runs.
correct.
That happened only because of Virat, as in whatever said and done. That kind of energy he brings into the team. Whatever said and KL Rahul I don't see that energy. He's always unhappy. I don't know the reason why he's unhappy. For half the time he's unhappy and he's like very much furious, like because he got some, I think, from his latest mentor from Lucknow Super Giants. He got some more extra frustration, I guess. I think that way I don't know. It's my personal opinion because captains do have a very big role in test matches. Like the 8-0 we lost under Mahi in England, he didn't have the proper bowlers. I do agree. Pankaj Singh was never a test match test material bowler to go to England and bowl. I totally agree, and I'm not saying that Mahi was lesser a captain, but Virat would have made a difference even in those 8-0 is what I think. And
I think
that bowling
captaincy
was
debate. You can give the example of the last Test match also. Smith. I
yes,
don't
yes, yes.
see any foreign captain in last 20 years who was controlled. It was as if he was playing a video game and he was controlling the fielding and bowling himself. Like, matlab he was doing it himself with a joystick. He was so much in control as a captain.
That totally changes the things, right? As in you're
True,
getting
true.
in the bowler like that Iyer dismissal, especially. He was going bang bang, and those suddenly Australia were actually starting to feel the heat, and that is how they lost the Delhi Test as well, right? 139 for 7,
True, true,
and
true. Correct.
suddenly we had a good comeback. 1 run lead is nothing in India
Yes, yes.
because it's like a photo finish kind of a thing, and they lost in that one session to Jadeja. That's a different story. But similar thing would have happened if that if Iyer had stayed 10 overs for further spin. You never know 120, you never know on that pitch because if you remember first 12 overs hardly they were able to score. Once that ball got changed and suddenly that head got one or two boundaries hit, so that once that equation starts coming down, 76 is nothing, man.
Nothing. Yes.
40 runs,
True.
50 runs, you are not in pressure because even if you go, there is Smith. Even if even if he's out, there is someone as in like Peter Handscomb, someone will finish it off. As in you just need 2 3 bad balls in 2 3 overs, right? You'll get one boundary each, and you're just defending and one ball out of the and Indians also they can't close in too much because their total is less. They need to spread out the field. So a lot of difference. 120 would have made a bang of difference. Like what happened in Mumbai 2004. It was not that kind of a track. Maybe 1% better than that, but still very bad track to actually play Test cricket.
Shaham bhai, do you think because of that last innings, fourth innings partnership of 76 that Head and Labuschagne had, do you think that might actually put some confidence back in that lineup, saying, yes, we can bat on this track on fourth innings as well as a. I mean, forget about it being a third day, fourth innings.
Kevir bhai, honestly, I think in Indian conditions, nothing will give you confidence. To be honest, as in, ठीक है, Khawaja's first inning runs, Labuschagne's first inning runs, they'll get confidence. But Head and Labuschagne, I don't think so because similar thing happened in Delhi, second innings, last session, where they were 1 run ahead and they had sort of flurry of boundaries. Now with Travis Head, it is more or less like a Virender Sehwag. Virender Sehwag is much better at his point at his game on Indian pitches, but Travis Head is more or less like a hit or a miss guy. So he'll go for runs. Once he'll connect two three balls, he'll score you at more than run a ball. But thing is that if he gets out, he'll look very awkward. As in, that's how it is. Head is not that very good player of spin. I agree with Khawaja, I agree with Labuschagne, and I'm totally a Smith, but not Head. So confidence and all again same thing as in Delhi he should have got confidence from his previous evening's flurry, but it didn't. Next day morning suddenly one good ball and totally he's out. So but yeah, but Kawaja and Labuschagne still they would carry that confidence from the last test into the next match. But in India, main thing is that momentum is very big factor in Indian conditions, where one good session can totally change the match. As in, one good session can totally change a match where you are totally down and out, but suddenly uh, our first innings was that bad in that last test where we couldn't come back because 88 runs is too much on that kind of a pitch. Uh, Means we had to maybe play out of our skin and maybe score 120 also, but 120 also is not a totally winning score. We might have won with 120, but 120 is not a winning score. 140, 150 is a challenging score on that wicket. So 109 in first innings, like you're giving away too much on in the first session they were 88 for 7 or something, man. That is not done on a first day wicket. At least you spend some time, bide some time, and maybe maybe you were like 40 for 3 at lunch. That is still better than 88 for 7, right? That is what I think. I think we should do that. And Ahmedabad, tomorrow morning, I think you will be up, Kir bhai. You'll have to be up. But by
Absolutely.
the time I am up, I don't want to see Indian batting and again 3 or 4 wickets down.
I think
Australian batting फिर भी चल जाएगा मुझे.
changes क्या expect करते हो? What do you think changing for India? Shami coming back in place of Umesh? Yeah, Umesh has not done anything wrong. But क्या लगता है? Shami आ जाएगा just to maintain that winning combination again?
Nandan.
Maybe they will go with Shami. I think they will go with only one pacer, unless they are going for that seaming pitch which Rohit Sharma was talking 2 tests ago. No, I don't think they will be like gut feeling. I don't think there will be a seaming pitch. So I think they will go with only one pacer and maybe extra batsman or a extra spinner. I personally would want an Kuldeep Yadav because that feeling is that India should go on a counter attack and like go with another spinner. And Kuldeep is a good better than this Siraj, useless batsman. Kuldeep is a much better upgrade batting wise also. So for me, I think spinner would be a better option, but maybe they will go for KL Rahul as an extra batsman also. Who knows? And Kishan will debut. 100% Kishan will debut because the media has reported.
All we have to do is just wait for others. Others usually tracks the family and everything. Others has all the insight about who's playing and who's not. But all right,
Adarsh had already
I have to drop
given
off.
his verdict.
To work. Thank you. Thanks for having this session. Bye. Remember, I talk to you guys soon.
Okay, okay.